So I arrived in Quartzsite, Arizona the 1st of January, actually the 31st of January. I was here to roll in the new year. And I've been likening the whole concept of Quartzsite, Arizona in January to a convention because I'm a huge geek and I've been to a lot of fan conventions, and so that's what I know. If you've never been to a fan convention, this might not mean a lot to you, but if you're of a geekish persuasion and you've gone to any of the conventions or a Comic-Con or anything like that, you'll understand, I think. There was an event that occurred on the 1st, or that was set to occur on the 1st, where I'm used to BNF, meaning a big name famous, big name fan, whatever, within the community. So this was a BNN, a big name nomad, had stated publicly that they were going to do a thing. And it doesn't matter which BNN it was, but a BNN said that they were going to do a thing. And then at the last minute, they canceled. And, a bunch of people were like, oh, you canceled, bummer. Then on the down low, that BNN and a couple of their friends went and did the thing the very next day. Now, I get that. I've been around enough, BNFs from the fanish community to understand that sometimes you just want to do a thing with you and your buddies, and the only way to do that is to do it on the download, to on the sly, get everybody back to a room for a private room party or whatever. So I no onus at all to the BNN because I get that. But if you're coming out to Quartzsite and your intention is to find that community of nomads, your intention is to, get to know the people who have been doing this life for a long time, it's going to feel a little cliquish when you first show up. There are going to be people who are going to be welcoming, and I'm certain that will occur once the actual, RTR and the get going. I'm sure that will happen. But there are also a lot of people in this life who've been doing this life for a really long time, and they want to connect with their friends, and they want to meet the people that they already know, and they already have their agenda planned for what they're going to do every day that they're out here. And so as a new kid on the block, that can feel isolating. That's the word I'm looking for. That can feel very isolating. And I'm saying that if you're going to come here to make community, to be part of community, it might take some time. It's unlikely to happen. It's unlikely to happen in the weeks before all of the events happen. So just know that if you get here January 1st, you're here with the snowbirds. And they live here like every season. So, every winter season, I mean. And so they're not necessarily going to reach out to be friends with you. They don't know you. You don't live here. You're just one of those people that comes in for an event and leaves. So that's the thing. The people in town are polite, but they're very polite in that city way. Like, we live here year round. You people come here and mess it up for at least a month, and they're not wrong. I went to the post office today, and the post office is a tiny little, it's an 8,000 person town when it's not massively inundated with, 50 full RV parks for the winter. Not to mention all the people coming in for the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous and the Big Ten RV show and all of the things that happen in January. And so the post office is overwhelmed. And the people who live here all the time know that it's overwhelmed. And some of them take it with a little bit of grace, and some of them are really annoyed. And understandably so. I mean, they live here all the time. And we mess it up for them for months in the winter, and they're happier when we're not here. Now, I'm sure that the people whose livelihoods depend on this season to make the bulk of their money, they've got no problems, I'm sure. But just to try and do your everyday thing, go to the post office, go to the library, go to the grocery store, The shelves are bare. The libraries are chock full of people. I mean, I'm not sure that I would enjoy being a small town person in a town that gets bowled over the way this one does. So you have to be a little understanding about the situation that you're walking into. The people who are trying to sell you stuff are thrilled that you're here. Um, the people who are just trying to go about their daily lives, not so much. Um, and the BNNs who are here before you, the other nomads who've already made their connections and have already tied into the community, it's not that they don't want you to be a part of it. It's just that they're focused on their own needs and they may not even see you. It's not that they don't want to. It's not that they don't want to be welcoming. They're busy living their own life. So I just want to say this as a cautionary tale that if you've ever gone to a convention and you've had those feels of being isolated or feeling left out or feeling lonely, because you're a little insignificant nobody who just showed up out of nowhere and knows no one, that's going to be normal. And you're going to need to put some effort forward into reaching out to people and possibly creating community if you don't see the community you want to see. Um, I think I'm going to just sit here in my feeling of isolation for a bit, and I have been since the first. I've been getting to know what the desert is. Um, I literally went to the library. I had a bunch of uploads I needed to do that I knew that were just going to take time. And so I borrowed while I was there a bunch of books from the library on what are the plants in the desert? What are the animals in the desert? What are the flowers in the desert? What are the birds in the desert? So that when I look around, I can go, oh, that's cholla, that's a saguaro, that's mesquite. These are now things that I understand that I didn't before I pulled into the desert. The other thing that I've been doing is going into town to try to understand how this town is laid out, how this town functions, where are the houses, where's the long-term visitor, where's the BLM land, where are all the things where the events are going to happen, and just kind of orienting myself, which honestly is what I do at a convention too. I spend most of the first day of the convention just trying to figure out where everything is, where can you eat, where can you go to the bathroom, because these things are different at every convention, and pre and post COVID, these things are different. Um, so yeah, this is just a heads up for people who have never been out here before, um, that these are things that you're going to want to consider and that you're going to want to have a bit of a thick skin about, because it's not that people won't like you or aren't interested in meeting you. It's that you're one among thousands, and until you can form that first connection, it can feel very isolating. But don't let it. That's what I'm saying, is take that opportunity, take that time to yourself to get to know where you are, what you're around. And then as more formalized events happen, that's where you can reach out and make your connections at. Say, hey to the person that you're sitting next to, or volunteer. Trust me, volunteering is the way to make connections everywhere I've ever gone. Um, so yeah, that's how my first experience of Quartzsite, Arizona in January is going so far. Events get into full swing on the 6th. It's the 4th. And I've been out here for 4 days just kind of doing my own thing and being okay with that. I've gotten a lot of video work done. I've gotten some rearranging of the house done. Spent a lot of time with my cat. Spent a lot of time contemplating my future. Spent a lot of time looking for work. So it's it's been interesting. It's definitely interesting. And I love the saguaros. I have parked next to a different saguaro every night, because that's my jam now. Oof, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah.